And number one is the expert. And you may be that person in your organization. You might be lucky enough to sit close to that person or know that person pretty well. Being an expert, as an AI expert, let's say as an AI tool that provides a level of expertise, can often be very generic. If I ask a question of Copilot, of other tools like ChatGPT, I'll get a fairly generic answer that pretty much anyone would get, regardless of their context, their organization, what they do, maybe where they live, that sort of thing. So what I want to do is build an expert who's my expert, my office expert. And I can ask my expert about anything to do with my organization, and my expert will be able to give me the specific answer related to my organization. With each of these 10, I'm going to talk about, let's say, the pitch, the general idea, and then try and give you an impression of how you might do this. This one is relatively simple. Now, they all should be relatively simple because I committed to this idea that they could be built fast. But this one really is exposing some core functionality that's immediately available to you. Copilot Studio. With Copilot Studio, I'm going to create an agent. And my agent is going to be capable of consuming information and using that information as background knowledge to form the insights that the solution is going to give me. So I'll start in Copilot Agent. I'll start in Copilot Studio. I'll create an agent, and I'll link that agent to, let's say, OneDrive. I've got my company documents in OneDrive, expenses policy, cybersecurity information, how to book annual leave. All of those documents are going to be in OneDrive. Now, it's important within Copilot Studio, within the agent that I'm creating, that I have tenant grounding enabled. Grounding is an important idea in AI, where we get the context that's sometimes lacking. So rather than a globally generic answer, I get something more specific. There's various ways to do it, but an easy way to do it is to tick a box and say tenant grounding enabled. I'll have my data in OneDrive, my files, my various documents in OneDrive. Now, I'll probably give this agent a bit of assistance. I'll give it some instruction, like the instruction on the slide. You're a company expert, answer questions using the organization's SharePoint or OneDrive content, provide concise answers with citations. So there's links back to the document that comes from. If you can't find a reliable answer, ask clarifying questions or escalate. Importantly, no, if you can't find an answer, just try and make something up that looks plausible. So it's just trying to fine-tune the prompt from the user. So using Copilot Studio, create an agent. With the agent, use OneDrive as a source of knowledge, and then make it available. And I think a great way of making options like this available is to use Teams. I personally have Teams running all the time. It's probably the main way I communicate with most colleagues. I'll find relevant information there. I'll find files and other content that I need to use. It's very immediate for me. So that would be a natural option for me. And essentially from Copilot Studio, we would publish this to Teams from where it could be used. And then we can say, click on the relevant channel, go to the app that we've got installed, and ask our questions. And the answers come from our existing knowledge base. And this is relatively easy to set up. Now, that's the bit where you have to step in and do a bit of research, but there's really just 3 components involved in this. Studio, some data that you've probably already got, and publishing it to Teams, which you've probably already got. So you're really configuring one component in this.